It turns out most voters have little faith that Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump will keep their campaign promises if they are elected president. This is according to a new Quinnipiac University survey. Now, of course, both campaigns have made some promises, one of them being Donald Trump and his wall. Well, how do the American people feel about Trump's promise, Trump's ability to fulfill that promise of creating a wall to keep the Mexicans out? Well, just 24% of Americans believe that Trump will build a wall. 39% say he will try but fail, while 29% believe that he would actually build that wall. That is a third of Americans. Nearly a third of Americans think that he will build a wall to keep out the Mexicans. That's amazing. Now, what about deporting the 11 million undocumented immigrants? Get them out, round them up, get them out, get them out. Only 19% think that Donald Trump would be able to deport these immigrants, while 45% say that he'll try like hell, man, but he just won't do it. I mean, it won't happen. While 29% said that he's not even going to try. So there's a third there. Now, what about banning Muslims? That was pretty popular, right? With Trump voters? Well, voters are a little bit more optimistic that he can ban the Muslims. Let's see. 29% thinking he would succeed, 42% say that he would fall short, and 21% would say, Donald Trump, he's just kidding. He's clowning when it comes to the banning of the Muslims. Okay, well. Now, Hillary Clinton doesn't do that much better when it comes to this. Now, 63% believe that she would not try to remove secret money from politics. You know, one of her campaign promises, I want to get money out of politics too. Yeah, that's a good one. 63% of Americans, they're not buying it. 18% say that she'll try, and 9% say that she would succeed. Now, what about Wall Street's influence in politics? 56%, they're saying, she's not even going to try, man. Over half of the voters don't believe that anything that she says when it comes to Wall Street. Maybe it has something to do with her not releasing her transcripts. Or the millions and millions of dollars she's received from Wall Street. I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. 21% said that she would try and fail. And 15%, very optimistic people, say that she would succeed at getting money out of politics. Now, voters are actually more optimistic about Clinton's odds of reducing the debt burden for college students. Her college plan isn't bad. It's better than what we have. As it is progressive as Senator Sanders, not so much. But it is a debt-free college alternative, which is definitely better than what we have. Now, voters are optimistic by saying that 22% say that she would reduce the debt burden, that she would be successful in getting Congress to be able to pass that, her debt-free college initiative. 39% say that she would try, but fall short. And 32% said that she wouldn't even bother. Basically, Tim Malloy, who is the assistant director of the Quinnipiac University poll, says, quote, no matter which candidate you pick, you can cut the cynicism with a knife. Well, it's no surprise that voters are cynical. Remember, this comes after 2008, where we voted for the so-called change candidate. You remember that? Remember hope and change? Oh yeah, none of that happened. Now, I know Congress has something to do with that. I know a president can't just wave his magic wand and say, low gas. Well, I mean, that was Bush, but nonetheless, you don't have a magic wand when you're president. You do have to work with the other side. Now, there are criticisms of Barack Obama that are completely legitimate when he actually was able to do progressive policy proposals, but decided not to. And one of them was, of course, a public option. he took the public option right out of the debate to try to get Republicans to agree with him, who, of course, they didn't agree with him. They're like, oh, yeah, you're going to take the public option on to get it out of Obamacare? Well, guess what? We're still all going to vote against that because we don't want any health care except for rich people. And we want more tax cuts. And we want more deregulation. Well, I'll give you tax cuts. I mean, I'll sign 94% of the Bush tax cuts into law. But you got to give me something in return. Yeah, no, you're going to sign it anyway. And that's pretty much what happened. 94% of the Bush tax cuts are now permanent, thanks to Barack Obama. That's change you can believe in. Change you can believe in. So it's no surprise that Americans are cynical. I'm cynical as hell. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are too, because what we see are politicians going out there and saying things and not even trying to back it up. And they forget that we can record them when they promise stuff and then play it back to them. And yet for some reason they have like no idea. Oh my God, I said that? I didn't say that. Oh, there's video. Well, shit. I didn't mean that. I mean, it's really hard. The Republicans are going to stop me. Okay. And these are the people that claim that Bernie Sanders is over-promising. Well, at least we believe him when we say he's going to fight for that. Whereas when Hillary Clinton promises something, it's like, oh, really? You're saying that again? Nice rhetoric, but what they say in Texas, it's all hat and no cattle. And this poll definitely points that out. And that right there is the difference, man. Now, people actually think that Trump will attempt to deport 11 million undocumented immigrants, which is really scary to think about. That so many people have faith in his crazy ideas. Whereas people know that Hillary Clinton, she just promises things to get elected because she's a member of the establishment. And what does the establishment do? They protect the status quo. They protect the establishment. Steady as we go. Yay! You want change? Good luck with that. I mean, look, 63% said that she would not even try to remove dark money from politics. I mean, why would she? We know that she's benefited so much from that system. Same thing with Barack Obama. The guy in the article was called the Hoover of politics, of Wall Street donation money. And guess what? He didn't really punish Wall Street all that much, did he? But he promised hope and change. You wonder why people are cynical? I have the answer to that. As far as, reining in the banks, you think she's going to end her own gravy train? That is absolutely ridiculous. Of course not. She loves the banks. She loves the establishment. Because, look, a lot of her friends, they are part of the establishment. They are bankers. There's one unnamed supporter on Wall Street that said of Clinton's campaign rhetoric during this primary, quote, "People are big boys and girls, and we understand that this is campaign season." Another said, "We're the symbol. We're going to keep getting it. I don't think it's a huge surprise this stuff still resonates." Now, symbol, what does he mean by that? The symbol of everything that went wrong in 2008 when the big banks crashed the economy. The banks are the symbol of everything that has gone wrong in America, whether it be rampant greed or getting away with crashing the economy, making millions and millions of people lose their jobs, lose their savings, their homes. They're a symbol. So of course that stuff's going to resonate. Because right now, the banks being too big to fail are the problem. And not being regulated enough, that's the problem. Now, look, here's the thing. They said that we know she's going to say this stuff. It's a campaign. But at the end of the day, they get lots and lots of money from us. Millions of dollars. So she doesn't really mean it. Because we know that she's going to listen to our concerns when she gets into office. Now here's another Wall Street supporter that said that. Quote, "She has raised money from Wall Street, and that's not going to change. She will continue to raise money on Wall Street, and that's not going to change." And what do they get in return? they get returned the status quo, where the banks will continue to do what they do best, rake in billions of dollars in profit. Hillary Clinton represents that and represents the status quo. And it looks like over half of the voters surveyed see that. And this goes into why voters, 2-1, think Donald Trump is actually more honest. Now, I've pointed out in many different occasions where Donald Trump is a serial liar. He's also a scam artist. And look at what's going on with Trump University. But he does say things that no normal politician says. Now, people look at that and they say, oh my God, this guy, he's being honest. He tells it like it is. He doesn't sound like a normal politician. I mean, he's saying horrendously horrible things, but hey, we like that because some of us think that way. And now you're actually coming out and saying it? You know, how honest of you. But look, calling somebody a dummy or a loser or calling old Mexicans rapists and murderers, that's not really telling the truth. But there's that perception there because people are tired of politicians that are essentially robots, that are focus group, that have handlers, that tell them everything to say, that are overly scripted, that don't actually act like human beings. Think of Martin O'Malley. He was actually pretty good on policy. But this guy, he'd roll up his sleeves and he'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get into this, taking off the jacket and, saying the anecdotes from Maryland. Well, I remember this lady when I was serving in Maryland, and tells us just annoying anecdotes. You can tell he was over-rehearsed and scripted and not a real person, not a real human being. Whereas Donald Trump actually acts like a human being, a terrible one, but a human being nonetheless. So look, there's that perception. Hillary Clinton suffers from the same thing, being an overly focused grouped, poll-tested candidate. And people are tired of it, man. And this poll definitely shows that. Now, Hillary Clinton, look, most people don't like her. Most people don't trust her. And most don't think that she'll do anything to help them. And that's because, at the end of the day, Hillary Clinton is a standard, slimy politician in an election where the people are fed up with that, as well as the establishment. And here's just another poll to add to it. Or, if you're Nate Silver, another poll to ignore. We're pointing it out, man. Iceberg, dead ahead. Do you see it yet? Do you see it yet? If you don't, you're blind.